Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Just finished and posted the first 6 signs. I'll have the other ones out for you tomorrow. Keep an eye out for those. There's Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, wherever you find them in your chart. Short, sweet, quick, very interesting messages. So we're just burning some sage from the garden, clearing the space. I feel like we've really needed to clear the space. Woo. Lots of things, and like getting on the other side of them, right? On the other side of those things. Ancestors, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the collective today? I'm seeing a giant X. X marks the spot. Maybe it has something to do with an X something, X job, X friend, X lover. Take it how it resonates. I feel like, and I'm seeing the square root sign. Lots of math today. Are you calculating something? The X factor, the Y, right? That's happening. Definitely, whether you're actually calculating something mathematically, there's something, there's like factors involved, right? And getting to the root of something, right? Square root. And I'm also seeing Othella, which is interesting because I have the rune book out. I was going to pull some runes. So Othella is talking about inheritance. It also talks about separation, right? Because in order to inherit something, something else must be removed, gone, done, right? It's no longer in the possession of one person or system or entity. It's now in the possession of something else. It's been left to them and being left to them. So leave it at that, I guess, is part of that. Like that, whatever was divvied up and inherited by each of the parties involved, that could be why there's this idea of a calculation happening. Take it how it resonates. Could be a metaphor, could be actually happening for you in your life. I'm seeing somebody, it's like a figure. He's standing there. He's got one arm up and one leg in the air, like almost like he's like jumping or celebrating or dancing, right? Like skipping. It has this feeling of skipping, but it really kind of at the same time has this feeling of like having to like shove something down, like when the trash can's overfilled with newspaper or wrapping paper or something, and you kind of put your foot in it and kind of tamp it down a little bit, tamp it down to like make more room. That's the kind of motion that this person is making. So there could be this idea of having to having some things taking up more space than they need to, and being able to kind of push it down and make room for it, and it's like carelessly, but it's something that is again, it's like airy, it's like maybe not important. I mean, I am discussing the trash with you, so like taking out the trash, right? Maybe getting again, like getting past something, getting rid of something, whether that be like a mindset, a thought that was like cluttering the area, taking up too much space. Maybe it was a fear that was keeping you from activating or keeping you from doing something. It's like really putting the true value on things that don't really have value, like, and that is the assessment. Like, this isn't worth this much space. It needs to be pushed, compacted. I guess compacted is the word that I'm looking for, which is really weird because he's still right here and he's still doing it, and it's like he's walking too. So through motion, through the movement, this is feeling like it's occurring, right? And I am seeing someone studying. I'm seeing someone sit down and looking. Be careful about like being on your phone too much and it affecting your neck. That could be like hurting you. This is somebody who's really looking into something, maybe standing at a podium. Maybe you're getting some kind of accolades, or you're sharing something with like a broader audience. Maybe you have a presentation to be giving. Maybe there's a lesson, like maybe you're teaching people something. And it could be like, I'm also feeling like when you go to city hall or a town meeting or something and you get up at the podium and you speak when it's your turn to speak, there could be something that you're sharing with an audience of some sort, a specific audience. I'm thinking of Wayne's World when they projected the signal down into the producer's car, Mr. Big, they send the message directly to him. And he's like, this is for an audience of one, that kind of a feeling like, it might be many people who are observing the presentation, but what it is that you're saying, what it is that you're giving, what it is that you're speaking is very much directed toward a specific audience. And that audience could be a very small number of people, but you're trying to showcase something, you're trying to show something, and you want that to get to the specific person, audience, entity, viewer that you're trying to reach. So there's definitely that. So they won't be the only ones who are seeing it, but you are like sharing that with this specific intent. And I'm seeing that that's probably because the person is in motion, or the thing might be walking away. It might be some idea, like if you have a business idea and somebody has lost interest, or they don't even know that they should have interest. They came to see something else and now they're walking away. You're like grabbing their attention. You're showing them that you're there. That's that kind of a thing, right? And I'm seeing like many spaces, again, many spaces. It's like you will reach this person, but many lights light up, right? Many lights light up. And for distances too. So that could be like time and actual distance, right? Like there's like this configures like all these like lights were lighting up. So like you're sharing something with a large audience, but specifically directed toward a specific viewer, audience member. It could be like a group of people, but a specific. And when you do that, all these other lights start, it's like signal connections. It's like a circuit board lighting up, and like all the other lights start coming on. So you will be effectively communicating with a desired entity, but you will also be connecting with many more. And it's like you are illuminating something within those spaces, those places, like relighting them. All right, we saw with the love, the separation, the letter O, ancestors, spirits, guides. And we get Wunjo. It looks like the letter P, sounds like the letter W, and it stands for joy, right at 717, right? That is spirit connected with our wishes, with our hopes, with our dreams, right? And then here we get to enjoy the joy. And it came out in the upright, which I absolutely love. Joy, light. This rune is a fruit-bearing branch. The term of travail is ended with, you have come to yourself in some regard. The shift that was due has occurred, and now you can freely receive its blessings, whether they are in material gain or in your emotional life or in a heightened sense of your own well-being. This is an alchemical moment in which understanding is transmuted from knowledge. Knowledge itself was necessary, but not a sufficient condition. Now you can rejoice, have been carried across the gap by the will of heaven. Joyousness accompanies new energy, energy blocked before now. Light pierces the clouds and touches the waters, just as something lovely emerges from the depths. The soul is illuminated from within, at the meeting place of heaven and earth, the meeting of the waters. There is a new clarity, which may call for you to renounce existing plans, ambitions, goals. It is proper and timely that you submit, for Wunjo is a rune of restoration of the self, properly aligned to the self. See, so, hold on, chaos getting climbing my Colombian tapestry. Don't do that. That's an antique. We got it antiques. Yeah. But everything is for climbing, right? So the sparkling light that we were seeing, that I was seeing, and it talks about like the light shining across the waters, and I'm thinking about that like glistening. And so maybe your soul is also being illuminated by this action that you're taking, by this thing that you're doing, right? You being properly aligned to the self, the emergence of self, and being able and willing to share. I'm going to put you down so I can get some cards. Okay, let's get some cards. Let's get some cards, and we are going to use the Quantum Tarot. Sometimes we get weird messages from this deck, don't we? Ancestors, spirits, guides, I'm opening it up to the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. See, waiting for your ships to come in, knowing that that you're standing there independently, waiting to harvest the fruit of the actions that you've already taken, like the things that you've already done. Right. And again, that idea of like standing there waiting, right? And independence, the light pierces through the clouds. Like, oh, you are, the realization, oh, I am capable. Oh, this is worthwhile information. This is a worthwhile lesson. Transmuting the knowledge that you hold into understanding. So you're explaining something to somebody and they're starting to really understand the knowledge that you have. Maybe they had that information, right? But they didn't necessarily have a context or take it how it resonates, like the true, understanding. Like, I understand that this is the letter A, right? The letter A, and I understand that it's a symbol and all these like signs of symbols. But once I start to realize that that letter, that symbol is representative of a sound, and that sound can actually change a, depending on what's around it. Now we have knowledge, and we can turn that knowledge into wisdom, so that when we read, we understand how to translate those specific symbols into particular sounds that come out into words, right? And now we can spell words too. It's the 1122. It's the same feeling, right? That understanding, and then using those words, right? That understanding and that knowledge, putting it into implementation, it becomes wisdom. Wow. Seven of Pentacles. Again, those worthwhile investments, those things that take a long time. It's talking about patience. It's talking about this isn't going to happen overnight, nor has it been happening overnight. This is checking you on the investments that you're making, on the seeds that you've planted, going out and weeding that garden, going out and watering that fruit, the fruit-bearing branch. This is a fruit-bearing branch. Seven of Pentacles, right? Growing. It's like the tree with the pentacles on it, and they're growing. Well, you can plant the seed and you can let it go and say, all right, best of wishes to you, little seed. Or you can get out there and you can cultivate the soil before you put the seed in, so that it has the best ground to work with, right? It has the easiest go of it and all the things that it needs. And then as it's growing, right? This is your investment. This is you. This is your knowledge. This is all of it. As it's growing, you prune it. You support it with maybe trellises, maybe netting, right? Maybe tying it up to the fence. Sometimes these tomatoes, they get out of hand and they're like all over the place, and you got to put them in a tomato cage. I'm not saying cage them. I'm saying like give them the armature of support to let them grow. And that's part of what this is like building those armatures of support to let your investments continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It could be the little volunteer tomato that popped up in the back of your flower garden, and you're like, oh, well, just let it grow. Isn't it cute? We got a couple tomatoes off of it. Or it could be the one that you put in the center of your garden, and you fed it, and you supported it, and you loved it, and you let it take the time that it needed, and you had so many tomatoes that you were able to can some and give them to friends, right? That's this kind of feeling here. And again, the Nine of Pentacles coming up on the bottom, because it's this worthwhile investment that you're making, not only in your environment and in your work and in the knowledge, but also in yourself. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Ancestors, spirits, is there anything else? What is this investment? What will come of this? Where are we going? I feel like we already know. Knight of Pentacles coming out, and wow, it's the Tower. That's what that is. Yeah. And Temperance. It's a 14. I had to look at it for a second. I'm like, the I comes before the V, so that's a 4. Roman numerals. And then at 14, 1, 1. Thank you, Spirit. Come on, it's early, guys. We're still having our coffee. Mixing things together and going slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. I was just saying this to my kids yesterday. Because the one hurries and then sits down to take a break, but the other one is working tenaciously, slowly going along, and feeling that they're far behind. But then I'm like, well, but you're still going. Look at your sibling over there sitting, doing nothing. Maybe might even sleep through the finish line while you're making it across. This idea of healing, balance, right? And the proper mixtures of things, and knowing when to do that. It's like the centaur, right? The proper mixture of things. And interesting, because this isn't that card, but it's on the centaur is on this card. Being equipped in a unique way that might make you move a little slower, but it gives you patience because you understand the benefit of that slow, steady movement. And this again has to do with pentacles. All of these cards basically have been pentacles coming out. We had the Three of Wands come out, and then this is the Temperance card. I've decided. I'm glad it's not the Tower, okay, to be honest, because that's kind of energy that would be very disruptive in this sphere. And instead, it's not talking about that. It's talking about the mixing of the two things together, the creating the balance, the Sagittarian energy, the expansion of the mind, right? Ooh. Being restored. So what is the thing you would like for us to look at today, Spirit? What is the thing that you would like for us to look at, and what would you like for us to know about these situations and investments? Through your passions, and this is funny, this particular card, right? The Ace of Wands here, illuminating those atoms, right? Through your excitement, through your passion, through your drive, you're realizing that there's some tables that are for you to sit at and some tables that aren't. And some people that aren't welcome at yours, right? This feeling of having to leave something or someone out. And that is part of the necessity of growth. Can't take them all with you, and I'm sorry guys, but all of these pentacles, it's like, what? Yeah. And it's like sticking, right? Weeding out that garden and deciding what can come and what can't come, who can come and who can't come. And that doesn't mean that you have to like leave everybody out of your life. This is a very specific situation, right? And you might have people who are maybe disruptive or situations that drain, right? So you're kind of like weeding those out from around the thing that you're growing. And they could be feeling a little left out. You could be feeling a little left out. There is, again, this Othello was coming out, the separation, right, for the inheritance. So there has to be, you have to leave this table to go, like when you're sitting at junior high, right, and you're about to go on to high school, and your kids that are, or your friends that are a grade level younger than you, they're still sitting at that table in junior high, but you have elevated and gone to high school, right? So it's like this whole other world for you, and you might be, how kids act or like take it how it resonates. It could be a job. It could be a group. It could be, you could be getting a promotion and now you're in a different place. And so there's that leaving of behind and the things that can't come with you into that next level, into that next graduation space. And so of course you're a little bit, like looking at that and understanding that there's things about that can't accompany you into the next room either. And when those things are time to elevate for them, they'll elevate on their own. So don't worry about that. Okay. Don't worry about that, leaving people behind or leaving situations, or they will eventually make it to that high school lunchroom themselves as well. Right. You could be at the college by now, and each stage of the game. And it's because it's inspiring you. It's bringing that light back into your eyes. It's bringing the joy back into the process, right? That's what's here for you in the here and now with this. And it's telling you to, go ahead and be excited about it, even if you're scared. That idea of like being scared but doing it anyway, sometimes that applies to having a good time. I'm afraid to let go. I'm afraid to enjoy my process. I'm afraid to share this information because you're so used to feeling left out, right? That was the Knight of Pentacles. So feeling left out, feeling on either side of this. You feel like there is like a separation, but there is a separation between light and dark. And there's a hard line on an umbral shadow, but there's a soft line on a penumbral shadow. So like when you look at the line of a shadow, sometimes it'll be like a very, very dark, hard edge, right? A very, very dark hard edge. But sometimes there's like a dark hard edge, and then there's like a softening in that shadow and that space in between, right? Like a gradation. So it isn't just black and white. It isn't just night day. There is a dawn. There is an evening. There's this crepusculous twilight, right? This twilight in between stage. Look, as I'm opening it, Ace of Wands on the bottom here now. It's out on the bottom of both decks. Very, very exciting. Joy, light, the fruit-bearing branch. It says, stop questioning yourself and jump right into that creative project you've been dreaming about. This card is your signal to activate now. Boom, jump right into it, right, Kibo? Even if you feel like you're not ready, you need action to grow. Opportunities are opening up for you shortly, so don't let them slip by. New project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential, new beginnings, new opportunities, growth. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to climb up my tapestries. Stop it. Okay. Ancestors, spirits, tell us just a little bit. Tell us a little bit about this worthwhile investment. Tell us how we can get to the next stage. What do we need to do? What actions do we need to take right now? Talk about actions with this Ace of Wands twice. What actions do we need to take? Spirit, Ten of Wands, bear it. Be patient with it. It's going to be a lot to carry, right? But like, you grew all of these things. You grew each and every one of these wands. This is something that it's this worthwhile investment. Get out of your head about it. It's not going to be that long that you're having to bear this weight by yourself. I'm hearing that. It's not that long, but like, if you are making this investment to grow all of these pentacles, to grow all of these worthwhile fruit-bearing branches, you're going to have to carry them to market. You're going to have to carry them to those places. These opportunities are coming. It's burden, extra responsibility, hard work, feeling overloaded, carrying too much stress. Keep going. End in sight, right? Completion. You are almost there. The end is in sight. You've worked this hard. It has been well worth it. It says you're almost there. You may have unconsciously or consciously taken extra responsibilities, but you know that blood, sweat, and tears you've put in are about to pay off. And now I'm going back to that space where like stomping down the things into the trash can, the newspaper, the wrapping paper, whatever it was, like making room for the spaces and things, clearing out the clutter, taking on the extra responsibilities, doing what was necessary. And you have reached this point of completion where you can kind of get out of your head about it, and it's to maybe free you. It's to maybe free you from some space, free you from some mental prison that you were in. Saying don't give up. So like, Pentacles and Wands, this is all about your occupation, whether it be your jobby job. It's like, what's bringing you in money, what's bringing you in stability, what keeps you stable. Sometimes it's, I make art sometimes just to keep me stable. That's great. That's what art is for, right? Helping process what is being metabolized in the emotional and in the mental, right? This is about something that is like a worthwhile investment to you, for you, that you've been working on, and it's going to bring you satisfaction and light. Wow. Let go of anybody or anything that's there temporarily, right? Let go of that feeling of competition, or anybody who wants to push you into a space where you're feeling competitive, or it's because you can't, you can't carry all these sticks uphill when you got somebody poking you. You got somebody, let go of that. Any of that, and the want to hurry, the want to feel rushed, or that there has to be this result because this is the specific result that's being looked for, whether that's the correct result or not, whether that, like, think about how many times like we try to accomplish something and come up with a happy accident instead, and like, oh well, this has actually worked out way better than what I was aiming for. That's the kind of feeling, because slow and steady is winning this race, right? So it's also like a warning about pushing yourself too quickly, rushing, right? And being short-tempered, losing your patience. That there's a warning against that, because who's going to succeed at this? Who's going to get through this is the Knight of Pentacles. Look, weird. There's a 10 of Pentacles. Look, this could be, it does not belong in this deck. And that could be a warning again, watch what you eat, watch what you put into yourself, right? And be careful it doesn't drain you. And then again, we got the Eight of Pentacles came out again. The Fool. Don't make foolhardy decisions, irrational decisions. Don't because like this is about escapism. Okay, trying to get out of your head or out of a cycle by taking on things that you shouldn't be taking on, or making irrational decisions, right? Holding back, indecisive, hesitation, reckless, self-limiting beliefs, inner critic, really anger, guilt, releasing negative thoughts, right? Release those negative thoughts, release those things, because that's what's going to trip you up. On the bottom, strength, that's 8-8. The 8-8 here. Courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influencer. You are cool under pressure and retain compassion all the while, even if it causes you harm. So be careful about that. Okay. This is about being mindful of that. Like, watch where you step so you don't trip. Watch where people coming in, like kind of pushing you around. You're trying to carry, I'm seeing like a wedding cake, like trying to carry the wedding cake, and like the kids running through the house, and like all that work that you just did. You'll be mindful of that, right? It says your strength will be rewarded shortly. Yes, your strength will be rewarded shortly. It's on its way to being cured. But like, so don't lose sight in the meantime. Don't lose patience in the meantime. You've worked so hard, and it's so beautiful, right? Self properly aligned to the self. Those lights coming through and sparkling everywhere behind you. Whatever Kibo found. Yesterday it was a spider. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, okay? Look at her. Oh my gosh, that's the way the thing went. In the crystal ball, that's the way the figure was standing. Just like this, with like this. Believe in yourself. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. She's on a tightrope. She's keeping her balance. Wow. This blew my mind a little bit, you guys. Wow. All right, and then the butterfly. Make the choice that empowers you. Make the choice that empowers you. Believe in yourself and make the choice that empowers you. We're just going to say this right here, right now. Leo energy, confident, bright, attractive, brilliant, manifesting, bringing those things, that spark of life to you, bringing it in for yourself. It says, when in doubt, ask for guidance. That's the thing, what we're doing here when we consult the tarot, right? And also sometimes, you need to know if that's a weed, if that's helpful, if that's like where it should be in your garden, all of these things, right? That's how you're learning. You're turning that knowledge, ask for help, ask for guidance when you need it, getting that knowledge, turning it into wisdom, getting that information, turning it into knowledge, right? Like all of those things, connecting all of those dots together, right? And, really being happy and excited with the results. What are we closing on, Spirit? What are we closing with? Okay. The Celtic Oracle, Celtic gods. Really been loving them lately. Lou has been so present. So present, like new moon wisdom. All right. Ancestors, spirits, guides. What messages do you have? What would you like us? What guidance would you like to get us? We're asking, when in doubt, asking for guidance from you, ancestors, spirits, guides. Oh, the divining rod. Wow. With the Ace of Wands coming out, the divining rod. Hazel, coal, hazel. The letter C. Didn't we say something about this letter before? Oh, sis, you gotta listen. You gotta get down from there. Thank you. Number 27. The hazel tree symbolizes purity and provides encouraging practical guidance. The green and edible hazelnuts yield a milky substance signifying ancient association with the mother goddess, fertility, purity, and health. It is naturally forking branches are especially favored in divining underground sources of water by pointing to the flow of the water within the earth. Wow. And also like the shimmers, the shimmers on the bright light, the clouds parting, heaven and earth. The soul is illuminated from within at the meeting place of heaven and earth, the meeting of the waters. It's like finding that space, right? If you choose this card, the presence of the hazel tree provides practical guidance and direction in life's most commonplace concerns. Pentacles energy through and through. Because the hazel tree encourages serenity and quietude, now may be an especially auspicious time for taking a vacation alone or simply relaxing at home. Strategizing and activity will not help, for the hazel brings clarity by encouraging you to seek the inner meaning of events, relations, and situations. Looking at the surface of the events will not help. Instead, seek the inner meaning and growth patterns that are not apparent on the surface of things. Thank you, Spirit. Just thinking about the Seven of Pentacles and the growth and the tree and the things that are sustaining it. And then we get these sticks, the Ace of Wands. And it's like this message is so strong right now. Since hazel's tree signals are often found in the natural world, you might look for guidance from actions of the birds and other creatures around you, as did the Celtic hermits of ancient times. For example, the sudden appearance of certain animals and their habits and qualities may direct you to aspects of your nature important to your personal development now. Seek quietude and then wait, watch, and listen. Yes, we are seeking the quietude so that we can wait and watch and listen. Look at that. It's like the growth on the trees in the Knight of Pentacles knows. So much patience, so much beauty, so much light, bringing in all of this joy today. And you're doing it, guys. Oh, good job. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Remember that those sign readings, half the sign readings are out, and keep an eye out tomorrow for the rest of those to be posted. And thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, let me know by hitting like or subscribe. And thank you so much for coming back and seeing us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.